Hello and welcome to the preview of Hawkespv. Mark Lambourne, it feels like it's been a while since we've done anything together, but it probably really hasn't been.
It hasn't, Dal. Anyway, it's probably 3 weeks, and Hawkespv is a cracking card tomorrow, Dal. It's hard not to like it.
It is. I think John Walter, who we'll just speak about in a sec, described it as a deep provincial card, and that's sort of the things that I know that he really likes and I think you really like.
Yeah, it's, look, obviously it fits a particular place in the program now. It's that stepping stone to Scones, that stepping stone to Brisbane, and it's got a bit of action. Most notably, we're hanging on the weather, which is is a maybe play. And with the rail in the true position, I think I looked at the last 6 rail true Hawkespvs, and the inside barriers fared pretty poorly, leaders fared pretty poorly, and the overachieving riders. Certainly, Gun is well pegged by the market Gun, but it's T. England is a Hawkespv man, and T. Clark. So certainly look out for T. England tomorrow as an overs proposition at Hawkespv.
Oh, beautiful. All right, and you said the weather. If it does rain, it's probably not going to be too much, and we wrote in an article that went up on the site on Thursday that the key is really whether it pisses off before the start of play. Yeah,
which it is forecast to do, and in fact the forecast this morning is weaker than it was yesterday.
So there is some chance we may miss.
I wouldn't say we'll miss, but there's some chance that it won't rain for very long and not very much.
Okay, great. All right, fantastic. So we're looking for saving ground around the bends, getting to the outside of the track on a track that's probably dead in our old language. Yeah,
actually, it's more running line. I think you want.
Okay.
I think Hawkespv sort of morphed from as it's bedded down. What has it been? 4 years, 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, probably.
As it's bedded down, I think that it's certainly a clever rider's track, because they get to the home bend there and they go, whoa, where are we going there?
Yeah.
It's a long way.
Yes.
And you need to have your wits about you.
All right, and we should we'll talk about our Fletch, but the other Fletch that it's his last meeting. I think from all and sundry in our sector of the world would say that he is head and shoulders above, or has been head and shoulders above any administrator in Brian Fletcher. It's his last day there. He led the charge for what has now become part of the racing lexicon in standalone meetings. He was the man behind it. A lot of people have come off his coattails, and unfortunately, the racing industry probably even hasn't had the best of Brian Fletcher, because there was a time there, not a couple of years ago, that he was thinking of making a play for the top job, and I think racing would have been much richer for it, and we are now going to be the poorer for him not being around, just running his little part of the world in Hawkespv.
Well, lots of times we say when we lose somebody, either through death or moving on, oh, it's a great loss, right? And that's not right,
No.
right? But in this case,
a lot of people have become great blokes when they die, don't they?
In this case,
he's a great bloke.
It's a tragic loss.
Oh, it's awful. It's
right,
awful.
because he's the standard bearer. He's the pace setter.
Yeah.
So other administrators had a benchmark.
Yeah, it's a very good point, isn't it? And he was, just so attuned to punting and everything. So, So anyway, well done, Fletch, and it's a shame that as an industry we couldn't use his great skills to where they should have been. But anyway, we move on. Tab Highway kicks us off over 1100 metres, Mark. It's 5 to 12, the kick-off time. Eastern Standard Daylight Saving Time, and
Do we need this?
We probably don't, do we?
A highway race doesn't belong at Hawkespv.
No.
It's like,
No.
that's a city.
It's to get the people to the city. No, I don't think we do. Anyway, it's Adam Eve dominating the favourite, dominating the market, around about the even money, and a little bit of support for it from Professor Marks and Noble Joey.
Yeah, who look to be in the van as far as the pace is concerned. Adam Eve is drawn the inside of the speed, so should be a good litmus test early doors for the track, because I imagine that Noble Joey will either box her in or sit outside her. Professor Marks on the speed, lip read on the speed. Worldly Wise doing its best out wide. The 10-year-old Fettler's Boot backing up from Cowra. What's it doing here? Bit of Faith is back along the inside, so there's another inside test for you. And Twisted Shaft, I've got seeing them all.
All right, how do you assess it? Is this a deserved touch of odds-on favourite, even money favourite?
No.
The way that I looked at it, I didn't think there was too much between them, and there's Kalen Ismith on board.
Well, that's right. You know, it's a rider that you're looking at Hawkespv going, this could be interesting. It's also first up without an official trial.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, yes, it's unbeaten, and yes, it's done a good job. It kicked back in the best ground at Randwick. It's one of those situations where you go, it's done nothing wrong, but tomorrow it's not carrying any like momentum or positive rider or it's not carrying any big guns.
No.
Into the meeting tomorrow. It has to.
I suppose it's big gun
to earn the win.
First up, second prep is a tick. I suppose that's an area that's all right. It has upside, I suppose, but it hasn't set the world on fire either. I mean, it's got the impressive win, picket fence, but bloody dumb.
Yes. Well, there's J Mac on Noble Joey. There's Bishin on Professor Marks, and the other horse I found was I didn't find Bit of Faith has a line through Noble Joey there where he came down, or she came down the best ground. Noble Joey had already done some work in the race. Lip-Reed's got gun and is a stalker and has broken through over 1200. I know it was only an 8k race, but she does have some provincial runs. She does have some city runs. So she's $21, and I'm throwing something on her.
All right. Well, I'm probably not. Yeah, I suppose in a way I'm opposing it to me, but I'm not opposing it strongly. Should just mention too, James McDonald, of his last 25 favourites, has won 12 races.
He's a bloody prick, isn't he?
He leads the charge on that.
He rides all these very, very average-looking conveyances, and he's the
does the job when the money's on.
He's the latter-day D. Bevan.
Yeah, we've got an article that will be up on the site when you're looking at this, but isn't up at the site right now, but it is right now when you're looking at it, if that makes sense, but it's almost ready to go. B. Shin is only 5 out of 25 of his last favourites,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
and Gun's only 7 out of 25 too, but his Hawkespv stats, so I think his overall strike rate's about 24% at Hawkespv.
Yeah, he's the current king of Hawkespv.
He is. Rod Quinn. Race 2, the Richmond Club Provincial Stayers Championship over 100 metres. Sees Ducha Valentinos as the favourite, ahead of Award Season and Loving Home and Hipparchus from the two Waller runners, Loving Home and Hipparchus. Now, Provincial Stayers Championship, Mark, how does this work?
You're running a series of heats, and then if you haven't bothered with that, you just turn up.
Is that how it works? All right, okay.
I'm not actually sure.
It's the 2100 metre race that is race 2. Mark, who does what?
But you're a bit desperate if you how many horses have run in the Provincial Stayers?
Yeah.
Reby the Red, I'd suggest.
Yeah.
And that may be it.
Yeah, you would have. The Doc Holliday was who was the
Doc Holliday.
The off the map.
Doc Holliday.
Thanks very much.
I'm off the map.
I'm off the map, but hang on, I'm trained by David Payne. That wins. Anyway.
Well, the other crazy thing about this race is that we've got Award Season is first up.
Yep.
Thunder Ladies had a let up.
Yeah.
Loving Homes had a let up. Hipparchus has had a let up. There's just
and Lucia Valentinos is 1600 metres to 2100 metres, second up.
Yes. So it's a bit of a gala, this race. I've got Reby the Red leading. Award Season handy. Duca Valentinois will be handy enough because he's stepping up in distance. Loving Home and He's Dreaming on pace.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you end up?
Well, I ended up with the Irish stayer, who is admittedly stepping from 16 to 21, but did come out here as a stayer.
It's easy to land on it, isn't it?
Well, it's had a recent-ish run.
Yeah.
It's had it won the race. It actually earned the win. It came from off them in a slowly run race. Mm-hmm. It's got James McDonald. Obviously, Hipparchus is the other offering, who looks very promising, but at the same time, PR at Kembla, like everything went right there before he powered away. They put the race on for him. Reby the Red is had his first try at the staying trip the other day on this track and did a lot of work in the run, and I'd suggest bears a look. Mm-hmm. And I didn't consider Award Season or Loving Home because of so much time off. Award Season is scraping around. Found himself at Canberra after failing in Brisbane. And Loving Home is Loving Home's here off going to Moonee Valley after not featuring at Randwick, right? Yeah, I must say it's quite hard on those two horses. And Thunder Lady, well, she's gone missing since
I think
the Wakeful Stakes.
we need to see something, don't we, before
Well, it's gust of wind. It's all those
Yeah.
horses, you know. They
Yeah.
you know, they bob up and then they just disappear.
Well, and it's, I suppose, especially when you're talking about the Pharaoh Six as well, too, later on, you know, what was it, Lee Curtis' horse, I shouldn't remember its name, it was beating a lip in a Group 2 race.
Press report.
Press report. That was only 3 or 4 runs back. And you're looking at it now, yeah, great, it's here. In the
Yeah.
Group 2 race.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, yeah, it's pretty clear, isn't it? Duke of Valentinois, as you're saying, or Hipparchus. So it's got the upside.
Both of them last start winners.
Yep.
Both of them last start winners of
Yeah.
city races. Or
Yes.
Hipparchus at Kembla.
All right, fair enough, cool. Well, that's where we're at with those, correct? I think A from B. I'm probably more Hipparchus or whatever.
Because it's had the run over the
Oh, just a bit more upside, I think. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, race 3. Oh, before I do that, John Malta, Mark. This boy's on fire.
Well,
we put the spruik up about it, and like, I know we spruik a lot of things, but fair income, he is just destroying it, just for fun.
He's a tireless man. isn't he?
Well, it is. I mean, we brought
He's
John
a
on.
great advertisement for hard work.
Yeah, we brought John on because obviously we knew what he was capable of and what he has been doing, but. You know, you get into it and you get to know people a lot better. But as far as work ethic goes and what he puts in, and you know, and a lot of the things, I don't think people realise a lot of the time that has to go into a lot of the things that he does. Like just the set and writing it up, and the amount of work that goes into that pre-time.
Doesn't do another thing, does it?
No. I mean, you just look at the photo of him that we use on the site. The man is tired. I thought he's put you to shame, Mark. What are you doing?
He sure has.
You got to go back to 2 hours sleep a day.
I'm feeling like I'm a lingerer next to John.
Yeah, I know, but you can get his full set for city meetings, whether that be the Saturday service or the Wednesday service, and the $20 around the grounds. Normally each day, but you know he'll let days slide where he doesn't like anything. But yeah, and with staking plans, both of the services are just well in profit and a dead set flying. Or you can do him through Pro Better Live, which is a great way to spend the afternoon, coupled up with Darren Potter as well. So yeah, John Walter, it's the spruik of the week, and it should be. It's the spruik. I think 13 from 15 of the main sets have won, and not just dead, you know, short half head wins.
No, proper wins.
Proper wins. Yeah, it's just phenomenal. So give it a try. He's one of our more. He actually isn't our newest person now, but he's one of our newer people on the site, and he's just dead set flying. So John Walter, give it a go. You won't be disappointed. And as I said, he sees his strength as provincials, and this being a deep provincial card as he's seen, he's really keen on Hawkespv. So if you're going to give him a try, tomorrow is the day, and let's rip. Blake's Marine Claret Stakes, 1300 metres for the 2-year-olds, and it is Radcliffe, which seems almost this race doesn't get run with if the blue jacket or the then white and maroon colours didn't start favourite in this race, and that is with Radcliffe.
So it's hard to remember the white and maroon, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It seems ages ago, doesn't it? Ajani for the former white and maroon colour trainer in Peter and Paul and Mary, $5.50 or ish ahead of the first starter with the blue colours, Flow.
Yeah, look, this is always an interesting race, and there's three Godolphins here, and Angarad I had being part of the early speed. Bindi Baker, who's one of the Hawkespv, he's the overachieving Hawkespv trainer,
yep.
I should say. He's got Louboutin here backing up off a 9-day backup off a Beaumont win, where she led, and she won her 2 barrier trials and she won her race. You know,
a little bit of a play for her in the early as soon as the market went up.
Well, I want to be against it, but I'm struggling when she hasn't been beaten in anything.
No, exactly.
Obviously she'll be on speed. Ajani steps up from 11 to 13 and gets on speed here. I had Alliterate and Swear next best, and Radcliffe well off the speed. So that's where your favourite's lying there. Easy enough to like Radcliffe, hard to come at that sort of price for what was he, $8 at home.
Yep.
In the right lane, beating a horse that's gone around at odds on and got beaten.
Mm-hmm.
So I did think that Ajani is sort of now primed for
Yeah,
second
prep.
preparation.
Yeah,
11 to 13 away from Canterbury, where he was sort of on the inside and it wasn't the place to be.
That Canterbury form. I mean, not that it was a hopeless run or anything like that. That Canterbury day is a bit of a forgive day, regardless, isn't it?
Well, yeah, Canterbury's been nasty in its return.
Yeah.
So look, Ajani is, right to go.
Yep.
Angarad has returned with 2 wins that have both had merit. Like wrong lane at Gosford, and then the stablemate had it done at a while and it came back off the canvas. So she's a professional that will be right there and give the favourite something to catch. And then you've got the 2 unraced horses, Flo, who's shaped nicely, but I would say is Blue Jacket's 3rd string, and Swear, who Hawk's 2-year-olds have just been flying. Won the race on Wednesday, just missed out the Wednesday before, off, not a great setup. So I'd suggest that Swear is a horse that bears attention. And there's another one there that I'd like to mention, Veladero, who debuted at 1100 Canterbury last week. Wasn't really sighted, but has got something and will come good.
Mm-hmm. All right, lovely.
So I think it's
you're saying
great chance for the favourite.
Yeah,
but
similar to the first, you can't knock it, but it seems that there's a little bit more to it than an even money favourite.
Well, look, put it this way: in the first, I'd oppose it, not strongly, but I'd oppose the first. Whereas I'm not opposing this one. I'm just saying, look, there are better bets elsewhere in the race.
Yeah.
Not that they're going to win.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I understand what you're saying. Before we get into race 4, the Friday freebie is on the tournament. It's a great way to sort of start playing around, give yourself a trial hit out before getting in. We've got a huge tournament coming up for the Brisbane Carnival worth $250,000, guaranteed first prize of $100,000. But this one on Saturday gets you into the not to be sneezed at $25,000 tournament on the weekend. We want somebody to go out and represent us and actually win one of these too. So 3 tickets available this afternoon on the quaddy legs. 4 venues, I think it is. I think that's right, Mark.
Muswellbrook, Canberra, and wherever else.
Muswellbrook, Canberra, Wangaratta, and Townsville are the venues. So I think the first race is at 2:30. If you miss the kick, you can chime in afterwards anyway. So that's cool. But yeah, jump on board. First 3 place getters get the tickets into tomorrow's tournament, or I should say Saturday's tournament, and give yourself a chance to win $12,000 and get at minimum and get in some practice with the big ones. It's a great little initiative and a good way to spend a Friday.
Indeed.
Good luck. Jump in.
Better.
So you just click a link. It is only available for Punter Show people, so there's a link on the stories on the main page. You'll see with the one to follow graphic on it. So just click into that story, click through that link, and get on board and get in the game, as we say. One of the more interesting races of the day is 1100 metres Hawkespv 4X Gold Rush, which sees Ins and Outs and Furnaces, Alberto Magic and Cool Ring all around the mark for favouritism, with Curo and Fine Mist not too far off, Mark. And an interesting little pace scenario here with...
It is, isn't it?
With no one really moral to lead, or...
Well, Sweets and Serendipity would like to lead.
Yep.
And it's drawn gate 1. Furnaces has been freshened up. Well, he's had some time off and been back to the trials since capitulating at Randwick. I had those 2 in the van. Curo's lost his way in Melbourne under the Freedmans. He's come back to Joe Pride with a snip, minus his blinkers and tongue tie. So he looks a sitter here, but Ins and Outs looks a sitter. Skip Course could be a player for up the front, and Alberto Magic will sort of race on the speed. Cool Ring just off the speed, on or just off the speed, and I had Fine Mist going back. Well, it's no moral, but wouldn't it be nice certainly at the tail?
Just 2 riders there too that come from doing the stats. 10 out of 25, the second best rank coming into it. Jay Collett and the I'm Back Glenn Schofield. 10 out of 25 last favourites. We wouldn't have said that for a long time, would we?
I know.
And then add the Group 1s that he's just racked up in the process. That's pretty good, isn't it? Go Glenn.
Go Glenn, and I'm tipping Glenn here.
Cool Ring.
Well, Cool Ring, it's running the lead up, if you call it the lead up. It and Alberto Magic ran in the Mullagura race at Rose Hill. And then he went to Toowoomba, and I don't know if you saw the race, but like it's sitting there on the fence waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for the run, and the blouses start turning up, and he finally gets the run and he darts through, and they just grab him. So I saw him as the perfect horse here at 1100, even though he's got no 1100 metre credentials, because I didn't consider ins and outs. First up, really got very, very stale last preparation. Furnaces is on a knife edge.
Well, the thing you mentioned earlier about Louboutin, it's win-win-win. Now, since Furnaces was a 2-year-old or whatever it was, or that since the Good Mooney Valley run, which was over 1,000, mind you.
Yeah.
We've had, is it 5 trials in a run or 6 trials in a run? Whatever it is, I think it's six public appearances. And whilst the trials haven't been bad, there's nothing saying that I'm going great. And the run definitely, and after the way that he paraded, it was disgraceful. There was no, and you know, he put to the sword and see you later. That wasn't a surprise after seeing how he paraded. But what I'm saying is we've seen him 6 times since that Mooney Valley run, and nothing to say that I'm with you. So as you said, he's on the knife's edge, isn't he?
He is that, so tomorrow's a D-Day for Furnaces, because, it's looking thin.
Yes.
Alberto Magic can definitely recover here, back to 1100.
Back to 1100.
Back to 1100.
Big numbers first run, bit flat second up, all that. And
1200 second up.
Back to 1100.
Yeah.
Underline back to 1100.
Yeah. So look, I'm going to watch Hero tomorrow. I just, he's another horse that belongs to last season. So
yeah, I've sort of approached it with Kiro not in the race, because if I think too much about Kiro, I'll be head stuffed and walk out backwards. And I want to play Alberto Magic.
And Fine Mist has had a wind operation.
Yes, it has. And Aaron did an interesting article with Paul Murray. You know, we often mentioned they rev them up. It was the male from Paul Murray that's up, the article up on the site, suggested that he's actually been easier on it. So when they often come with the throat operation, gelding or whatever, the new toy, here I am ready to play, it sounded like it is I am not ready to play, for reading between the lines in the article.
Yeah, and the price is sort of suggestive of that, because she's a well-performed mare that just gave it to ins and outs, sitting 3 deep outside him last time they clashed.
Yeah, so I'd expect improvement from the run for that, but yeah, as you said, all right, interesting race. I'm Alberto Magic and you're...
I'm Cool Ring.
Cool Ring. There you go. Race 5, the Toyota Ladies Day Cup over 1,300 metres, and One More Zeta is favourite-ish with Danish Twist, Riker, and Rock for the Ladies for Bjorn, all having a say.
Right, now I've tipped One More Zeta here, but I've got it double the price it is.
I was surprised to see it favourite, yes. Well, there it is.
Like, she's gone back to the midweeks to run an improved race, setting off the speed, which I guess she does here, although she does have speed to race on pace. Mojave and Night Rocker are your van, and Riker looks to posse up quite nicely here. He's been a fraught horse, a vexing horse.
Yes, he is.
But I mean, his run was acceptable first up, and he's ready to play here because his buddy from that race, Rock for the Ladies, if you remember, was like already tuned up and coming down the.
Yeah, did he quite get in it though? Oh, I didn't. I thought.
Point being that Riker was first up, started shorter, and Rock for the Ladies was wound up. Yep. Like, admittedly having his first run for Bindi, but anyway.
Yes. All right. So where'd you go?
Better Not Blue. Great first up at Wyong in the provincial championship heat, and then out of play second up. It was it was a dawdling race where you couldn't be where he was. Danish Twist comes here in gate 1. I think that's a bit of a test for her, because she had things go her way. Admittedly, she still went and got the win, and she must be there somewhere. Gamblestown is second up with the trial. Winker's back on. He looks a chance. And Fig Tree is a bit dangerous here first up for that man. It's an interesting race.
I looked at it and thought, geez, it's going around again. But suddenly it doesn't start. Does it feel like it's been around for ages?
I think anything with Gwenda next
I thought, what's his start number 40? No, it's not. Anyway, it's I digress. Personally, I have no feel for the race, so it's over to you to steer our good audience into something.
Well, as I say, I've tipped one more Zeta, but I've marked it $12, and I've actually been, I've been kind as a kitten to it, to use a G. Clark phrase.
Yeah.
Kind as a kitten.
Yeah.
And
Kittens kind. Kittens wouldn't be too kind to me if I got hold of them. I'm sitting.
Well, I think you're referring to the fact that kittens are, cute and playful, whereas cats, they're full on nasty.
You can fix them.
Anyway.
Hessian bag, brick, good size water body.
Yeah, look, I'd suggest one more
Wait till the
Zeta.
bubbles stop.
One more Zeta, better not Blue Riker.
Yeah.
Is a reasonable.
I didn't mind the way that the race is set up for Danish Twist, as in not overly fast. It's got that really good last 400 metres. It could be close enough, but then it is gun, so I suppose you've a chance. But the barrier one sort of softened me. And also too that I hate the. Like you just look at that provincial championship for
which has produced good form so far. His Majesty and Heady Heights.
But you want to resist it for just our negative view on the world.
Well, I suppose if you're on speed and she got a sweet run. She got a perfect run to go after the leader. It's not as positive for her. But look, the market has already is not. A big fan of hers anyway.
No, exactly. Anyway, moving on to race 6. Before we do, Mark, we mentioned John Walter's stuff, and we're going to mention your stuff.
That's right. So look out for the big treble, the Warrnambool treble next week. It's probably Gosford, Canterbury, and wherever. Could be Canterbury for the third week in a row. Must be Warwick.
Could be. I'm not sure.
Bring back Kenzo. Yeah. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, but we've got Beaumont and Hawkesbury yet, and. In fact, my best results lately have been the Saturday Provincials or Mondays in the case of Gosford.
You had a good result on the thing of Gary Portilli's that went from favourite to $1 million to 1 on Monday as well too, as did John Walter. What was his name? With relation to Rebel Dane?
Yeah, Texas Rebel.
Texas Rebel, yeah.
Texas,
God bless it.
Yeah. Texas Rambler, who had to cope with a slow lane to hold off the other horse that John found there in that race.
Yeah.
One of those interesting situations where you, if you get my stuff, you'll note that I marked, I think, Red Knot, 280. I didn't tip it, I tipped the winner. 280, I expected to be 230. Now, Red Knot was 3:20 in the morning. And started 2:30.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. So it's a good lead on the market.
Yeah, so, oftentimes I'll look at the market and I'll go, gee, am I wrong there? No, I'll just stay with what I've got.
Yeah.
And it proves that the insight that I'm offering there in terms of what's likely to be backed is a lot of experience of actually watching these punters back these horses.
What's going to be backed and why it is, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been around a long time and I've seen what tends to make up a market. So you can look at an internet market there and go, well, that's a nice rated market, but is it actually how it's going to end up?
How it's going to end up, exactly right. Exactly right. So grab my stuff, available for all Sydney and provincial meetings, and just go to the site and you can get week to week for Wednesdays and Saturdays, or pick the eyes out of the provincial ones as they come along. Race 6, Godolphin Crown, 1300 metres, is for 2 down the bottom, is currently holding favouritism or thereabouts from old mate Nancy, and a lot of others sort of not too far away in the betting.
Fucking pricks.
What's that?
Like, how do they put for 2 up as favourite?
Don't know. Okay, last season form, I suppose. Blue
no,
jacket.
I like for 2. But I thought that the interesting. Interesting. Has won 3 times since they last clashed. And Amarata was drawn gate 1 on a nasty fence day at Randwick, and for 2 came down the outside.
Yep.
Since then, Amarata's won at Rose Hill. She won the Gosford race, and then she returned with a win at Randwick.
Yeah.
And she's double the price.
Yeah.
So I thought, she was the other one here. But anyway, look, 2 Blue will take it up. That's her go. Not as favourable at Hawkesbury, but not as favourable lately at Hawkesbury. Press Report and Nancy I had close up, and Role Model looks to make a play from wide out to go forward, with the blinkers on first up. I guess Amarata will work forward into a handy spot. Mahara has been freshened up. I don't know what she's planning to do. For 2 midfield, Artistry perhaps pushing onto a position a la her Newcastle Newmarket at Rose Hill run,
Yeah.
but she's back from a mile. And there's some back markers here. She's clean, very delicious, Sense and Reason, Electric Power. There's not a great deal happening up the front, but it's it's 2 blues, so she needs to roll.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So you've already alluded to where you're looking to. You're looking to Amarada in for 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
I finally worked out how to take the sword to Nancy this week.
She's still been nibbled about too. She'll start 6-4 favourite. She has to.
Yeah. Well, she's by Big Brown, and it's coming back to haunt her. Of course, she was dynamic the only time she was at Hawkespv.
Yeah, well, I think the thing I saw about Nancy is we mentioned her quite a few times, obviously, because she starts so short most of the time. She was a little runty thing last preparation, but she definitely has come back a better horse. That reflects in the race speed pro, in the IVR numbers from Vince as well too. Probably had a 2-length better horse, but she paraded best first and second up, went about the same, and then dropped a couple of lengths last week last start after parading pretty. Not badly, but definitely not as well. So I don't know. There was no progression first to second up. There was a definite downhill slide third up. Whether that comes back and she comes back to that, but I don't know if she's going any more than what she was first, to the level that she's gone first or second up, because there has been a significant shift in a couple of length improvement in her, and whether that's her and that's the best she can do, I'm pretty sure that's the maximum. So. And I don't know if that's. I think what Amarada did first up, I was really hoping to see a good number next to it, and it was a length or 2 above benchmark, and I think that's satisfactory because I really like the way that it sets up with gun, with the right draw, with the right positioning running. Bang, dong, dong, Amarada.
Very good, Dale.
Beautiful. Race 7 is the Hawkespv Gold Cup over the mile, and it is Strawberry Boy. Oh, mate, he's leading the favouritism ahead of. Oh, who we got here? Pajaro, Sons of John first up at 1600 metres. Ecuador's in the mix. Beaten Up is also in the mix, and then there's a stack of them, a couple of rolls longer than that too. So pretty tight little condensed market there, Mark.
Yes, and will Ecuador make a play for the lead here, or even Medcourt? Have you got Strawberry Boy to find the lead? Ecuador and Medcourt to posse up under just astern of him. Kellyville Flyer were she to run, could race forward. Great Esteem can race forward. Sons of John midfield, Mighty Lucky midfield, and a number of back markers here. One of whom is drawn gate 1, Pajaro. I suppose he could be ridden closer from that gate, but I don't know if that's any good for him. Well, Sons of John, I didn't think about him, but he's had 3 trials and his last 2 Sydney runs are winks.
Yeah.
So he ran. Ecuador ran second to the Epsom, he ran third, and prior to that he just nosed out in the Theo Marks by that wretched mare, and he resumes at home and is stalking here. Strawberry Boy, I want to look for, but this Strawberry Boy, we see him time and time again. He needs the flat Doomben. Like it was a good run first up.
Good first up, ticked the boxes.
But like at Moonee Valley, he disappeared, and there's Sons of John finishing ahead of him. I'm thinking, mile. Anyway, look, he's vulnerable, but he's got a good chance. Ecuador did it tough in the Doncaster. The right amount of time off since.
Yeah, and he's showing
he's 4th up in this race.
Yeah, good pace in his legs early in his races.
Yeah, he looks to have a great chance.
And Mighty Lucky, which we all missed last start with the big riding change.
Well,
we've only been saying for 4 years.
So it has
Nathan Thomas off, and it goes around in an awful looking race where everyone's looking for an angle, and the most obvious angle was Nathan Thomas off, Chris O'Brien on.
No, it was Kathy off.
Kathy off following.
But have a look at this, N Thomas.
Yeah, following
Kathy, Chris O'Brien, positive.
Yeah, that's right. So there you go.
Anyway, interestingly, there are a number of runners from the Rolling Mile here last June. He's one of them, and Sons of John won the race. Or maybe it was this race, the Hawkespv Cup, that was run on a Sunday in June. That's the race. So Sons of John is currently the current title holder. Mm-hmm. Tales of Grim also ran in that race. for Sam Kavanagh,
Yep.
one of his last runners.
Yep.
And something else was there. Anyway,
all right. So where are we ending up, mate?
I said 7 from 8.
That's Ecuador from Sons of John.
Yeah, honourable mention to Strawberry Boy, but
Yeah. He does. He does. I mean, it feels like he goes round and round and round, doesn't it? But he does the job. Keeps doing the job. He's never far away.
He's a tiger.
Yep.
Mighty,
should be the most
lucky,
beaten up horse in the world. So he just keeps going.
Yeah, Mighty Lucky we've mentioned,
And then take your pick of any of the other Waddle runners, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, well, perhaps Amavarcio, who's at least had the trial in between, whereas Beaten Up's been kept fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Janoob is a horse here that did something at his last run. So no one's thinking about Janoob, but what he did in the Tattersalls Cup was pretty amazing. You know that where he pulled his way to a long lead.
Mm-hmm.
So he's resuming off that run, and I think that gives him a small chance here.
All right. Love it. That's the Hawkespv Cup, but I ended up back at Strawberry Boy. He's not a bad default position. He's going to be there, and yeah, why not?
There he is.
Blacktown Workers Hawkesbury Guineas over 1400 metres. Handfast is the dominant favourite. Ahead of Spill the Beans, which is Easing, No More Tears, and Den Magic.
Well, in many ways, it's a great setup for Spill the Beans because he's got the sort of switch. The inside draw at 1200, the outside draw at 1400. So he does look to control the race. The Serene Majesty, Lady Zhivago and Suspense I had in the bracket behind him. The trouble is, I don't think he's looking at particularly favourable. It's not a favourable track to leaders, and it's Gerald, like a horse that's lost its way.
Lost its way deeper in the preparation. 1400 metres questionable.
Yeah.
So it's easy to oppose.
But we'll get there, and Horry will be backing it.
Yeah, well, that's good. He doesn't back. Whilst we have great respect for him, he doesn't back every winner.
Handfast was dynamic with the blinkers on the other day. I know the Santa Ana Lane subsequently lost, but did come back to 1200, sort of got put to the sword. Handfast in his second run at blinkers showed a turn of foot there at Randwick that lends himself quite well to this race.
So second run blinkers today, is it?
Second start blinkers.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're just battlers.
Yeah, well, look, the run with blinkers also coincided with it getting probably the right race shape too, which looks to be the right thing there. He's a horse that on the numbers has always had a good last 800 to him, but probably hasn't had a chance to show his wares, and he did get that with a more favourable run race, and what we saw was very impressive. Best of day data on a carnival day at Randwick.
It was very impressive.
I know he was great, well set up. I know he was. He had the perfect run, all of that. But you still got to be able to do it. And I don't know if any of these, under those circumstances, would have done that. He does it again. He wins easily, and I think 6-4 is not a bad price, especially with J Mac on a favourite. And I'd imagine they'll be very confident, which means giddy up J Mac. So yeah, Handfast for me, 6-4, good price.
Very good, Dal. Look, there's not much to be said in the race. My eye did sort of light upon Den Magic when I got further down, but she's sort of drawn too close to the inside, and once again too well found. She's just a fringe dweller here.
And No More Tears you can do. I mean, I'm happy to oppose Spill the Beans after being very keen on it first up. No More Tears is just there, and I thought Den Magic is just there as well too. So the other one, you're just looking for excuses for Handfast, just come back to him and go, no, that'll do. Thank you.
Very good.
All right, race 9 wraps us up over 1500 metres, and an interesting little conundrum here. Trafalgar's the favourite. How are the broadcasters going to cope with this, Mark? You got 9 runners on 60 or more kilos. How's it going to happen? And then another 2 on 59 and a half.
That's going to slow Hong Kong Darren right up. Because he's just, as he's going through the field with all their big weights.
With the big weight. The big weight. Anyway, they've all got the big weight. Trafalgar's favourite. The interesting run of McIntosh with a stable change with Chris Waller from the New Zealand horse.
That's right, new stablemate of Trafalgar.
Yes, okay.
So in the van is Careless with the wide gate after drawing inside at Warwick Farm, and the Apprentice. Macintosh I had on speed. Dream Lane will be in the van, and Marple Miss up to 1500. They're your sort of four. They're all drawn wide, so they all have to go forward. Santa Rocks may sort of use them to try and get in. And then you've got Kellyville Flyer, who may take the place of Santa Rocks, depending on whether she's reserved for this race, if she had the option of the Hawkespv Cup. And at the back we've got Star Wars, Frost My Heart, Blendwell, Rustic Melody, Veet Lonnie, and Trafalgar, who is drawn the poison of Gate 1, and he's had his fresh run.
Yeah, exactly. And he loses Hugh Bowman for Rory Hutchings.
Yeah, well,
easy to see it drift, isn't it?
Well, it's it's a horse with talent. It's a 3-year-old, but it's got things against it here.
Yep. And the numbers already said looking for two. Okay, it sets up all right, but the numbers already suggested 2,000 is required. So as you said, it's had the fresh run. It's got that inside draw, negative rider switch. $2. It would be surprised to see it backed.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've sort of got to put cold water on that. That covers that horse. Macintosh. What are we saying? They've gone absolutely brutal in that.
I know. He sat up on the speed, no cover.
Sat off on the speed, no cover, with coming off 50 odd days off.
Yes.
Now changes to Chris Waller. The fact that he was able to go that fast actually indicates something. It's an interesting runner with gun on it.
Why hasn't he tried it?
Because his asshole was left on the ground at Randwick.
Well, that's, you'd like to see a trial to make sure that his arsehole is still there. Interesting runner. Look, of course, nothing, the Randwick Guineas has been a legless formula for this.
Yeah, I think the main problem with that is because they've all killed themselves.
Yeah.
They've just dead set killed themselves.
Yes. Well,
he's gone 16 lengths above average.
Yeah.
So at least he's had the 56 days off.
Great chance here. Horses I want to mention, Man of Choice is...
Where does he fit into the picture or anything?
Well, he ran in the Randwick Guineas as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he started a similar price to Macintosh. He was on the in the slow lane.
Yep.
He's on a 7-day backup and gets James McDonald. I mean,
but
he's a horse that leaves you a bit cold.
Yeah, but I mean, back to what we were talking about, with the group racing and where they all go. These horses were running in those Group 1 races, and now they've elevated themselves to the Fish Boy Seafoods handicap with benchmark 77s. But you get your Bob's bonus.
I suppose so.
It's hard not to be negative in this game, isn't it?
Harder.
Yeah.
Anyway, Man of Choice, let's leave him there. Kellyville Flyer, who had no chance last start. She comes home here from with the good boy back on, and a gate to put herself in the race. And Santa Rocks showed some pace last time.
Yeah. I think Santa Rocks is ready. It's ready to peak, but that peak
is a bit climbing.
Yeah. But it can be right spot, right time. There's questions on Macintosh. There's questions on Trafalgar. It can just go bang. I'm in the right spot. I'm not much good, but I can win this race.
Well, it won't be doing any banging, but it's just like
bang in the right spot. There it is. Can bang into the right spot, but then that's when the noise ends.
Yeah.
All right. Last race. So
it's more of a race to oppose the favourite than.
Yeah, exactly. But in saying that too, they've still got to be faster than it as well too. All right. So you are Kellyville Flyer on top, are you?
Yes.
From Macintosh.
Yes.
From Man of Choice.
From Man of Choice.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm very interested in what Macintosh does. I mean, its numbers in New Zealand are pretty good, and it did start short prices in New Zealand as well too. So it's at least got. I mean, I think most of these are consigned to midweek class, and this might not be. So yeah, that's it. And probably Macintosh from Santa Rocks because of it can be right place, right time, all that shit.
Beautiful,
Mark. All right,
that's the nightcap at Hawkespv.
There it is. It looks a really good meeting. Enjoy it. Get involved. Thanks to Brian Fletcher for it, and also should say thanks to Brent Zarafa, who has left us now and will be on racing.com and did a great job for us over the carnival. But onward and upward, and hopefully the news coverage stays the same standard. We've got Matthew Taylor 2 starting in a couple of weeks, and you can read a lot of his stuff on Saturdays as well too. So he'll be on board, and in the meantime we'll keep peddling and try to keep the standard up without BZ. So thank you, Mark, and we'll be back with the Punters Show on Monday too.
Hooray!
There it is. Good luck. See ya.